chemistry. They won an NBA championship, and we'll see if this year's version will be able to kind of match that, right? Will they be able to build the chemistry? Will they be able to build those relationships, right? The 2020 team, just they all played for each other. They were having fun. They were having movie nights. They were sleeping at each other's houses. Like, they were just living their best life together. You saw it on the bench, the way that they would dance and celebrate. It was just a great time. And it's one of the reasons why they were able to go through the grueling bubble and end up winning that NBA championship. Every single person that was in that bubble, every single team, every single player all said the same thing, that it was just mentally tough, mentally draining. And I think the relationship that the Lakers had really helped drive that and push it. And hopefully they're able to build something similar. It's nice that the core pieces are there for the Lakers that were there last season. Your Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura, and now all those guys will have a full season together. I think that that'll be massive. But one of the big things that the bubble team had that I think there's a real argument for with this Lakers team is LeBron James played point guard, right? Now, obviously you have D'Angelo Russell, you have Austin Reeves, who the Lakers have talked about. They want to make him more of a point guard, allow him to be on the ball more, allow him to kind of facilitate and play make, which is completely fine. And it's something that they could still do. Just because LeBron is starting as the point guard doesn't mean that others can't play point guard, right? Rondo played point guard. You had Avery Bradley playing point guard throughout the season. But and when push came to shove, throughout the games, you started LeBron James at the point guard position. You, of course, have D'Angelo Russell, but there's even an argument for like Gabe Vincent over D'Lo, right? And going that route. Like, how do you do that? And it's not like those guys can't play. D'Lo was so good playing off the ball and was so good at just spot-up shooting and shooting, period, last year for the Lakers, that it would make sense to turn him into more of a scorer, right? And allow him to kind of be more of that just offensive focused rather than like, hey, we need you to go get us 17 and go dish out, 6 to 8 assists. It's like, no, hey, go get us 25. Go get us, 23, whatever, and kind of allow him to be a scorer. Austin Reeves, a lot of the same way. Again, not saying these two can't play point guard, but it would allow them to kind of focus more when LeBron is the point guard. They can kind of play off the ball strictly and allow them to just be those scorers, be those shooters, and attack the basket, right? And then Gabe Vincent can play that Avery Bradley role where he's on the ball, 3-and-D type of defensive guy. It's the type of point guard that has always played well next to LeBron. Think of like Norris Cole, Mario Chalmers, George Hill, Patrick Beverley. That was the idea with him, right? Like, you have that defensive on the ball attack, point of attack type point guard that can knock down and be a spot up shooter while LeBron wheels and deals. I think that makes a lot of sense. But the biggest reason is the clunkiness of this roster, I think, would flesh out better, right? So, like, one of the big things about this roster is its depth, right? That's what makes this roster look so appealing and looks like, okay, like this Lakers team could definitely weather, a full season and then the playoffs because they have all of this size, all of this depth, all of this versatility. But with that, it comes down to, like, how do you find minutes for everybody? You have Jared Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura, Taurean Prince, right? LeBron James, Cam Reddish, and then Anthony Davis wants to play the 4 more. How do you get 6 guys to basically fill in 2 positions unless you start playing other guys at other positions, right? But if you were to say start LeBron James at point guard and allow him to be the point guard, now you have LeBron at the point guard, you'd have Reeves at the 2, you'd go Jared Vanderbilt at the 3, you could do, Rui, or you could go, if you wanted like defense or 3-and-D defense, you go Taurean Prince. Taurean Prince might be the better fit for LeBron, and then Anthony Davis. Or you could go big, right, and kind of regain the bubble status, where, instead of LeBron James, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Kyle Kuzma, Anthony Davis, and Dwight Howard, you could go LeBron James, Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt, Anthony Davis, and if they get Christian Wood, you go Christian Wood. If they don't, you go Jackson Hayes and, bring in another big man, and you could go that route, and then that's, again, replicating the success. Everybody around LeBron Because the big question is, well, if LeBron plays point guard, how does he defend the point guards? He wouldn't have to on the defensive end, right? Like let's say you started with Taurean Prince, right? So say you have LeBron at the point, Reeves at the 2, you have Vando at the 3, you have Prince at the 4, and you have AD at the 5, right? Well, you could have LeBron guard the 4s. Taurean Prince at 6'7" could guard the point guards or shooting guards or whomever, right? If you're playing, say, Memphis, well, you're going to put Jared Vanderbilt on Ja Morant anyway. So he's going to guard him. If you're playing the Warriors, you're putting him on Steph Curry anyway, right? So then LeBron could just guard Draymond. You could put Taurean Prince on Klay Thompson, and there you go. And then everyone else follows suit, right? Like, it doesn't really change anything. It's going to be the same result, but you flush everything out. So now you could have, D'Lo be the backup 2 guard. You could have Gabe Vincent be the backup point guard, or Austin Reeves kind of be the point guard. Because that's the beauty of our guards, is they're all interchangeable. They all got good size. Like the shortest one is Gabe Vincent, but he's still like 6'3", right? So on paper, he could be the point guard, but could play the 2. D'Lo could provide that scoring punch off the bench, and it's very possible the Lakers could look to trade him anyway. So even if he is a little upset about it, like, how much do the Lakers really care? And it's about winning, and it's about getting. If they end up trading him, well, then they trade him. But it's about getting through everyone establishing their roles and being ready for the playoffs, right? Because there is that argument of like, okay, well, do you bring D'Lo off the bench, whether it's for Gabe Vincent or whomever? I think instead of having Gabe Vincent or D'Lo start, if it's really that big of a discussion, have LeBron start at the point. And then now, again, you have Taurean Prince, or again, you could go Rui or whomever. I would probably start Prince just for the better defensive versatility, right? Because LeBron's probably going to guard the 4s anyway on the defensive end. So, you don't need Rui to guard the 4s. And then you'd have a bench unit of Gabe Vincent, D'Lo, right? And then you could go Rui, Jackson Hayes, and Cam Reddish, or Max Christie, or whomever, right? I think that would free it up and make it more natural of a fit, and you have these rotations. And then you always have 2 guards or 2 playmakers on the court at all times, right? So you'd have LeBron and Reeves, and then you'd have D'Lo and Gabe Vincent always on the court who are able to make plays. That would also allow D'Angelo Russell to kind of just go be D'Lo if you want, right? Like, go be the point guard, go do your thing, go set everyone up. Him and Rui could develop that pick and roll relationship, that pick and pop relationship. Him and Jackson Hayes could be great. One of the best plays in all of basketball last year was the D'Lo Anthony Davis pick and roll. And Jackson Hayes is a great pick and roll big man. He's also a great pick and roll defensive big man. So you could do that, and have them build those relationships. You have like a Cam Reddish and Gabe Vincent who can basically be spot up guys and shoot the 3 ball. I think that is a very solid approach, right? Like, I just think, because again, like, to me, this solves a lot of the questions of how does Darvin Ham get playing time for everybody, and how does Darvin Ham kind of flush out everybody at the positions when you have so many guys playing the small forward, power forward position. Taurean Prince, I think with his size and what he does, which is just basically 3 and D, he could play the 2, right? But he's gotten comfortable playing the 3 and the 4. And I think if you go with him at the 4 on offense, quote unquote, so you have Prince on offense at the 4, you have Vanderbilt at the 3, and then Anthony Davis at the 5, with LeBron at the point, Reeves at the 2. I think that's the best approach. And look, I understand LeBron says he wants to play off the ball more, and that's why they went and got Dennis Schroeder. That's why they went and got Russell Westbrook and all that stuff. But LeBron still dominates the ball. He's still a 38-8 guy. But I also think him playing point guard and running the show would help keep him kind of just keep him fresher, right? Because on the offensive end, he's doesn't have to chase around people. He got more size. He can kind of just coast and set guys up and play the Magic Johnson role rather than being the guy who always is in attack mode, having to attack, go downhill. He can pick and choose those spots, right? And it keeps him engaged, and he can kind of facilitate because he's going to do it anyway, right? Like, he's going to do it regardless. And we won an NBA championship with him at point guard. So why not get back? Why not just embrace it and just say, like, hey, this is our best way to win. The ball's going to be in his hands anyway, right? Especially in the play, especially late in games. Yes, LeBron has been more willing to play off the ball alongside Reeves, but if he's the point guard, he can decide when and where he wants to do that, right? He can initiate the offense, and if he wants to let Austin Reeves just go one-on-one and isolate, then fine, let him do that, right? But it's not like we're going to have all these possessions where LeBron isn't going to touch the ball, right? LeBron's always going to touch the ball at some point. He's always going to be the decision maker. He's always going to be the offense to an extent. So instead of trying to do this half LeBron offense, half other offense, right? Just let him run the offense and make the decisions, make the plays, because he's going to do that anyway. And then everyone else kind of has that understanding and role. And then when LeBron's not playing, you could have Austin Reeves be the primary decision maker. You could have D'Lo be the primary decision maker. Or you could even run sets where LeBron isn't the primary decision maker. Just because he starts at point guard doesn't mean he has to play the point guard the entire game, right? But I think to start at point guard and to close at point guard just makes a world of sense. Not just that, it's all positionless basketball nowadays anyway, right? Like, he would just be the point guard just on paper, right? He'd just be it was the same thing with the bubble team, right? He was just the point guard on paper. But for the most part, he wasn't guarding the point guards and stuff like that. I mean, they had Avery Bradley starting at times, right? And Avery Bradley was the guy that would go and they'd have him at the point of attack, right? Like, it's just, or they'd put Pope on one of those guys, right? Like, so it's just, it gives them more size, gives them more versatility, kind of flushes out the roster better. I think it's a good approach. But anyway, just a thought, just an idea. And as always, I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you agree? Disagree? Somewhere in between? Love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments.